Hello everyone, hope we're all good. Thanks for all your support, thanks for all your comments and everyone who likes, shares and subscribes. It means a lot. Right, when I was 25 years old, I'd just been released from another stint in prison. I was in HMP Stafford, and I remember going to reception and one of the screws saying to me, you'll be back soon, lad. And I was determined I wouldn't. I said, all right, yeah, you won't see me again. And I had this plan of becoming a straight goer, keeping away from the drugs of shame, the drugs that brought consequences like the cliches of, heroin and crap, because that was my problem. And I thought the answer was like just going out at the weekends, having a bevy with the lads, whoever the lads were, having a line, having a few garries, just having that party life, starting to live a little bit of the dream. But I didn't realise I've got this addictive personality. And the party doesn't end when last orders are called. I used to find myself going out with a few kids on our estate. We used to go to Images and, Fridays was underneath the Adelphi. Used to be a Belter Little nightclub there on a Friday. That's why it was called Fridays. Then I'd shoot off to Images. And then I'd find myself, on my own, down by Shield Street. And this one time I'm in this club near the end of the night, sitting there with me go-to bevy. I'm on the brandy and coke. I'm at the bar. I'm on my own. Open a cough for a bird at the end of the night. Yeah, and I always felt like I never fitted in. I felt different. I felt people knew who I was and what my past was about. And I didn't realise at the time that was like a self-obsession, and the insecurities and the feelings of like less than were creeping in. And there was a little bit of an argument with the bouncer and these girls and these lads, and they all came in, the bouncers, and started kicking everyone out who was involved in this little clique, and I was not part of this, and I got dragged out with them, and I was protesting, mate, I've got nothing to do with these, absolutely nothing, I don't even know them. Out, let me get my jacket. My jacket was on the chair, gets my jacket outside, he's going on with himself, pushing me. Well, don't push me, mate. Seriously, don't be pushing me, lad. You don't know me. I didn't even know myself, never mind him know me. So pushed out the door, right? Fuming, full of like testosterone, full of ego. Starts kicking off with him. Who do you think you are? He's giving a little bit back to me. We're getting nowhere. And I don't know where it come from. I just said, all right, mate, sound. Let's call it a day. Put your hand out. Here's my hand, here's my eyes. We'll leave it at that. Me being a little bit of a sly ass, as he put his hands out, I've cracked him and I've put him to sleep. I'm on top of him, don't know why, right? And we're wrestling now, he's up and we're wrestling. There's other bouncers on top of me. I'm getting launched everywhere, getting webbed, getting up, and I'm jumping on the cars and I'm standing on the bonnets, and it's just murder. There's just murder. I'm just like on the rampage on my own. A load of other bouncers have come down, and next thing I'm on the floor. Busies are there, I've got cuffs on me, up my back, and I'm getting booted and spat at by these other bouncers. That's, the straight up. I remember biting this kid, just chewing on his back while I was on top of him, and someone was on top of me, and it was just a mess. Gets nicked, goes to Bridewell, gets a charge of assault. This bouncer's threw a complaint in. This young kid, a young Irish kid. I remember going to Liverpool Magistrates Court. I was on bail and he was in the courts. It never went any further. I think he's just casually. I didn't go to trial. He got to a committal. I pleaded not guilty, and that was the end of that. I remember Peter Mizzou saying to me after I went home, he went, "Look, Bill, don't be going out on your own. If you're going to town, and you're a bit fresh with it, you're going to come on top." And that's happened to me a few times. So I looked at my pattern. I remember going to the manor on Edge Lane. I had this bird I was with, and a few of the lads were all on a Charlie. And I bumped into this kid in the toilet, some big black kid. And, when you have a line, you're just talking loads of shite on you. You know, you just don't talk, you just don't stop, you know. So here's a line, lads, yeah, nice one, nice to meet you, big oaks, love you, how are you, sound, you know, what's your name, where are you from, and what are you doing here, who you with, and, you know, went outside, and then, I don't know what happened with him, it just went weird, mate. He was, you know, he was asking me for another line, he had nothing, that was it, lads, you've had enough now, you know what I mean, yeah, swerve it, get your own, you know, who you talking to, I thought, oh, mate, he's getting, you know, he's starting to test me now, he's getting fresh. You know, I went, you know, I said something bad to him, like, you know, I can't even remember, it was just petty. And I turned away from him because I thought this is getting a bit, you know, he's getting a bit strong now. It's a bit too much, and I can't be asked. Next thing, mate, I just felt this, just seen this flash of light. Bang, that was it. I've reacted quickly, seen him, grabbed him, got him on the floor, and I'm on top of him, and I swear, and I'm cracking him. Bounces again, splits us up. The people I'm with, they get me in the car and they take me home. I'm fuming, right? I'm wired. And I'm sitting in this bird's house, and, you know, and I'm going to bed. I'm feeling a bit dizzy and that, and I woke up. I don't know, early hours in the morning, and my head was like a box of oranges. I'm not messing, it was all over the gaff. You know, have you ever seen that movie with Cher and that fella Rocky? The kid that, you know, big, oh mate, he was just, that's what my head looked like. I'm not being disrespectful in any way, but it was just like, I looked like the Elephant Man. It was all over the gaff. An ambulance got called, rushed to hospital. They took me to there for exactly Maximilio facial ward. Now this kid has cracked me proper, and he's hit me, and he's broke my cheekbone, and it's sunk in. And I've had to have surgery. It's like they cut your ear, but you've got a scar. Well, you can see it. Got a scar there. Yeah, maybe you can, maybe you can't. So they've cut open there, they've cut open there. And what they've had to do is to go down and pull it out. And they fixed me up a little bit. And I've seen the same kid, you know, a few months later, at the garage filling his car up on Edge Lane. And he looked at me, looked at him, and I thought, you know what, revenge at that point was like, it wasn't going to serve a purpose. Plus, he had a big name, family behind him, and I didn't really want to carry on with it. It was, you know, I knew I'd had the better of him, mate. He stole it on me, and I was on top of him. It was what it was, you know, and I moved on. You know, and I realised, you know, not now, at the time, that my pattern was kind of like, I couldn't go out and enjoy. I couldn't be one of these normal fellas that go out and have a bevy. They go, last orders, alright, Tom, sounds, going home now. See you later. I'm going to call a taxi. I'm not going to get in the car for a bevy. It doesn't work like that for me. You know, it's just constantly, like, it's just a nightmare. You know, I had loads of episodes like that. You know, and that was me pattern. And I met up with a kid once, Ramon Kane, sadly passed away. Bumped into his brother, Giggsy, a few months ago. Now, Ramon, he was, you know, one of the most violent inmates, young offenders in the prison system that they'd ever had. And we'd been to jail a few times, I like Ramon, you know, and we went out and we were in the big house. I can't remember even what happened. I just remember, like, you know, an argument broke out, and, you know, I'm like a rebel without a cause. I'm in the mix of it. Come on, let's get it on. Next thing, I'm getting launched out of this boozer. You know, and I've got this big bouncer. I remember his name, Clarence, because I just laughed about it. Big black fella. And the bar, the manager, she went, sort it out, Clarence. I had me top off. I looked like Bruce Lee. I was ready. It was game. I must have been like, what? I was quite young, and he just looked at me, didn't say a word, and I was like, with a name like Clarence, you're doing nothing, lad. And I remember the next day, the mum phoning me up and went, Bill, we need an Uzi to go out with you, mate. You're round the bend, you're off your cake. You know, and I know, well, because it just kept happening. This pattern kept repeating. I remember going to heaven with Toto and Scully, and we're in the toilet, and we're all having a line, and this bouncer's walked in. And he just looked and he didn't say nothing, we just went, yeah, what is it, mate? You know, he's not going to start telling us that we're not doing what we're doing, and that was it. It is what it was. And we're on one and we're doing our thing. You know, he gets off. He's not going to front it. There's a few of the lads there. You know, so he probably felt, now when I think about it, you know, felt a little bit like put down. You know, his ego was deflated. Felt a little bit probably humiliated. Because a week later, you know, I goes back with our kid's bird. And he'd been out for a bevy and went back to heaven. And he took these steps. And I remember, halfway up the steps, the same bouncer, massive kid he was, proper pair of shoulders on a big meathead, just come running down these steps. Stood there and he threw, I swear on my mom's life, like he threw everything at me. In this one zig he had, it swung, boom, and he hit me flush on the jaw, connected, and I just went, what was that? And he looked at me, he went, you're on one, you aren't you? I went, lad, what was that? All his mates were up there, standing there like that, roaring off him. And he went, just get off, go on to, blah, blah, blah. The busies were there. They were all at the top of the stairs giving it all that. And I thought to myself, you know what? I can't go on like this. I can't go on. Like, going out and causing murder. That was my, like, so I realised then, well, probably not then, like, but I realised, like, now, you know, my pattern of behaviour, you know, with drink and drugs and party, that kind of life, you know, around a lot of testosterone and egos, there was always violence, you know, and it continued for a while. You know, there was loads of mad stories that I could talk about, and I you know, it's happened, you know, so I don't drink, I don't use, don't take nothing, obviously, you know that now. I'm not successful in drug taking, and I tell you straight, I love drugs, I love taking them, I love the feelings that I get from them. I just can't cope with the consequences, that's the truth, so I don't take them because there's a consequence. Otherwise, I'd be enjoying a bevy and a spliff and what have you. But it's not the enjoyment of it, it's the consequences that come with it. You know, it's the isolation, the separation, the shame, the guilt, the hiding from people. You know, the borrowing money because you've spent more than you should have. You know, and I know there's people out there that struggle. And I just, like, want to reach out to those out there that think that they can just go through life and not have the courage to talk to someone about it. Because you're not alone. You know, I know there's people out there, because I get messages. You know, I've had enough of what I'm doing, and, you know, I'm losing me wife, and I haven't seen me kids. I've ended up in jail. It's, you know, I've been involved in you know, violence and, you know, gang culture, and I don't want to be a part of it because it's a fake life with fake friends and fake money, and everything's fake about it. And it's so true, you know. You're either loyal to one or you're loyal to none. I haven't got many friends. I've got, you know, I can count them on one hand. I really can. But loads of associates and people I let on to, and, you know, people I care about. But yeah, I keep my friends closer, my enemies closer. So you know, the same goes. But yeah, once again, just another crazy quagmire of a story for you there. Thank you for listening. Take care.